welcome to a special edition of Freedman Adventures. We're talking sand bass here today with my dear friend Nick Hernandez. Nick, good to see you.
Doing all right.
We're here at Young's Fishing Tackle. Man, we just had a great lunch thanks to Kevin. He's the man. I feel so at home here. It's such a great place. And people that walk in the door, they feel exactly the same way.
Oh, yeah.
Guys are here. What's the hours of the store?
We're here open Monday through we're open Monday through Saturday. Monday through Friday we're open 10 to 7. And then Saturdays we're open 9 to 4. Sundays we go fishing.
I don't blame you, man. That's good stuff. We're going to talk sand bass now because, sometimes sand bass get a bad rap. Turd rollers and all the different pejoratives that they are called. They're fun to catch.
Oh,
They're really good eating.
Yeah.
And, man, you get around springtime, summertime here in Southern California, and it can be game on, right?
All day.
You like catching those things?
Oh, dude, I love catching those things. Like, when it comes to like a nice big calico or a big sandy, when it comes to fight wise, I honestly think the sandy's gonna fight a little harder than the calico big time. They go ahead and dig down.
Grumpies.
That's what I like. That's what I like. I like that big head shake that's gonna stop me. That's what I like when I'm fishing.
Nick, Mackie and I were in Ensenada here recently, and this would have been April, I think. Dude, we couldn't catch a yellowtail because they were down that day. So the guy goes, I'll take you to my little sand bass. We're getting them 2 at a time with 6 or 8 fish just following it up. That's so exciting. They weren't giant, but still, like you say, they pull pretty darn hard.
Big time. Like they get, like you were saying, they get their bad rep from turd rollers, but hey, I'll take a turd roller any day.
I'll take a turd roller fish taco any day of the week, and it's good stuff. So we're going to talk here mostly like private boater type fishing. There's a reef here called Iser's Reef that guy named Russ Iser actually went out there and did that reef, and it became a real thing. It became a place, great little ecosystem for all kinds of fish, sand bass, calico bass. But we're going to focus on the sand bass. It's a very nasty place, by the way.
Yeah,
you can lose anchors out there and everything else. That's why there's so many sand bass there. So we get out to Iser's Reef or some other rock or some other structure that we want to fish. How are we going to approach this?
Well, for sure, I like to have a heavy set rod. I like to have anything from like around 20 to 30, 20, 40. That's what I would recommend. You want a nice heavy bass swim bait rod. That's what I'd for sure recommend. I like to go ahead and throw like a 300 to 400 size reel. You're fishing like maybe like, 80 feet, 90 feet?
Yeah,
so?
Right.
80 to 90 feet.
110 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I like to go, and that's why I like to go and fish that. Big time, I'm fishing. If in the daytime, I have good days. I have days in the daytime or the nighttime there. That's what I've noticed. It comes hand in hand. I like to go and fish daytime fluorocarbon. I like anywhere from 40 to 50 pound. That's why I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're fishing fluoro. Now, I remember we did a Calico Bass show a few weeks ago or whenever it was, and you said no fluoro, straight mono, 60 pound. But here for the sand bass, we're going to fish the fluoro. And that is, I'm guessing, because of that nasty neighborhood and the abrasion resistance to that, or what's the reason?
I mainly like to go ahead and fish that in the daytime. I just feel a little bit more comfortable with the fluorocarbon in the daytime. If I'm going to go and fish the sand bass,
Yeah.
But nighttime, I always fish mono.
Okay.
Yeah, nighttime strictly mono.
Gotcha. Okay, so those big sand bass, time of day that you fish those things, are you judging that based on the tide also?
Yeah, same kind of thing, based on the tide. I like that early morning bite. That early morning bite is really, really fun there. But also, too, that sundowner over there at Iser's is always really good. Can never go wrong with that sundown bite over there. But if you guys are fishing that like midnight, fishing like up to like 2 a.m., that also is a really good time to go and fish Iser's.
Man, you are so right about that. And that is not only sand bass, Nick, but like tuna bites. And when I surf fish, sunrise, sundown, magical. And if you can get the tides to match up with those, you know what I mean? Yeah, right?
Beautiful day.
Yeah, right. It's going to bite.
Oh, big
You just
time.
feel like it's going to bite really, really good. Time of the year that's best for sand bass fishing? Are we waiting for the migratory fish, or are there fish that live on those reefs year round?
There's fish that live there year round. There's those home guards that always stick there, Don't get me wrong, it's always fun to get those migratory fish, but those home guards, those are the big mean ones that stay down there, that's the ones that I'm looking for.
Right, exactly.
So I like to fish it year round, it doesn't matter. I do have better time fishing in the wintertime for sure for the bass. That's when I usually get my bigger bass. But like I was saying before, I think a couple weeks ago, that I like to fish it a lot more in the summertime for those more cookie cutters, having more better numbers kind of day.
Lots of action.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a great day. But if you guys are wanting to just fish it super hard, really want to get a big girl, that's the one.
The wintertime.
That's the wintertime.
All right. What are we going to start with here?
For me, fishing sand bass, I like to fish like a 5-inch white fluke or like a 7-inch, sorry, not white fluke, white swim bait.
Yeah.
Either on for a 5-inch or a 7-inch, that's for sure going to be my go-to. I fish this on like a 1 ounce to like an ounce and a half, but I like to fish as light as I can get away with. You know.
Why is that?
Mainly because I want it to go ahead and slowly fall down there as slow as it possibly can, look really, really nice and natural to the fish. I don't want something that's just going, you know?
Yeah, you kind of want it to be enticing, right?
Exactly. I want it to look nice and tasty to the fish.
Yeah, you talked about that, as I remember, in a video we did about fishing the inner bay and how some baits, you just want them to spend as much time in the water column as is possible.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Same theory here.
Same theory here.
Gotcha.
It helps out a lot. Don't be afraid to go ahead and throw some scent on there too. If you guys have like maybe some hot sauce or something like that, that's what I like to go ahead and use. But any scent works. I like more like a craw kind of style. Helps out a lot. Or krill. Krill, that helps out a lot too. Those are my two favorites to go ahead and use.
And do you see a noticeable difference using that?
On the tougher days, yeah.
Okay.
Big time. On the tougher days, yeah. But when it's a ripper bite, you know, everything's gonna bite.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's maybe like a little small 3-inch swim bait to like a 7-inch swim bait. If it looks good and they're really hungry, they're gonna bite it that day.
Yeah.
But if it's a slower day, you need that little bit of advantage. I like to go and add a little bit of scent.
You're probably too young for this, but in the old days, when I was a kid, you know, the definition of a wide open sand bass bite is if you could catch one on a pickle. And we used to do that all the time. And you know the other freaking thing we caught them on all the time was a chicken bone.
Oh, Jesus. That's funny. I like that.
They bite sand. Hey, man, they bite those chicken bones good. In fact, you know, you're talking about putting a scent on your lure. I'm going to get some Kentucky Fried Chicken next time.
Do it.
Rub it all over
there. It'll work. I bet it'll work. The 11 spices, right?
Yeah.
The 11 secret spices.
Well, I know, right? I actually like Church's chicken. That's spicy. So there you go. All right, good stuff. So where are we going now?
I like this.
How do we fish that bait?
Oh, this one, I like to go and give it a lot more of a popping style. So I like to go and keep it in gear most of the time, but I will free spool it here and there. I keep it in gear and I just slowly give it nice rough pops, and I want that tail to do a lot of work, give as much action in the water, disperse as much water as it possibly can, because it does get really mucky down there sometimes. You know? So I really like to go ahead and throw that kind of style. That helps out a lot. As far as slow retrieving it too, if you guys are on your skiff and you guys just find a nice section where it's not too rocky too right there, you guys just slowly casting in, just slow drag it too. That helps out a lot. You just want that bait to just land right in front of that sand bass face. You know, think of it like almost like lead and squid fishing. You know, you want that bait to just land right in front of it. You're basically going over every single little rock, and you're looking for that hole. Same kind of style with this.
Right.
You know, that's what I would recommend, at least fishing this.
Do you fish these fish, the sand bass, that is, differently in the summer than in the winter? I know in the wintertime they're very lethargic. They're very lazy.
Very lazy.
It's almost like you got to get the bait right in front of them, right?
That's exactly what I was talking about right
exactly.
now. That's what I would recommend. Wintertime, that's when I like to fish it the most of the time, or I'm just slowly creeping it. Yeah. But there is those days in the wintertime where I do like the slow pop here and there. They don't like the aggressive pop in the wintertime. They like just the little pops. But I'm just slowly dragging it, letting it pop a little bit. Just let it sit there right in front of its face, maybe for like 5-10 seconds even. I've waited even 30 seconds one time, and then just keeping it, let it sit there. You can wait like almost 2 minutes sometimes. You'll still get bit.
Right.
Like, it's ridiculous.
Before we go to the next bait, is there a huge difference between your approach to fishing sand bass and calico bass?
A little bit. I notice I'm a lot slower with the sand bass.
Okay.
You know, either time of the year, I'm a lot slower. I don't really do as many fast burns as how I usually do with calico bass. I love the fast wind. That's one of my favorites to go ahead and get bit on with a fluke, for sure. But if I'm gonna go and target sand bass, I like that nice slow lethargic kind of dead fish going. Here and there, I'll give it a couple pops. I could see something, gets really scared for a minute, dying back down. You know, that's what I like.
Do you ever get bit on the fast wind on sand bass?
You know what?
Have you ever? I don't think I have.
Not
but
much. Not much. I think I've tried it a couple times, but I don't remember the
you
time.
just go back to, hey, this works, slow wind,
I can't remember a time where that worked for me. Like me, I mean, it might work for other people, but for me, that's just how I like to fish for sand bass.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree with you there. By the way. All right, next bait. What are we going to talk about here?
Maybe you guys are gonna go ahead and throw like a crawl kind of style too. Fish anything super white, maybe like glow kind of style too. Gary from Ray's Swim Baits, he ended up just making these claws for us. These are white, pearl white with glow claws. So if you guys are gonna go and fish maybe like a swim jig, we're out of this color of a color called a MB Secret right now. We get our order like I believe Monday.
Right.
We're out of that. That's a good color to go and pair it with. It's basically white with a little bit of yellow, and then fish it with like a 1 ounce or like a 1.5 ounce. Fishes really, really well slowly. You guys want to add scent, like how I was saying earlier, that helps out a lot. That's how I would fish the sand bass. Just cut the tails a little bit and then make it to where it's a little bit more pointed out. They do have a little bit of a scissor indent right here, so you can follow it.
Yep.
It's a lot easier for you as the angler too to just see it instead of just naked eyeball going it just like that. So helps out a lot, and they're very, very sturdy. They hold up very well.
Oh, they do.
Oh yeah, you can feel the plastic. It's pretty good.
Yeah. How do you fish these baits?
Same kind of style, very, very slowly. But I notice I'm more keen in on the dead stick and the free spool with this a lot more.
Yeah,
for sure. It's a crawl kind of style bait. Basically, it's more or less mimicking a squid.
Yeah.
So you really want to go ahead and just slowly crawl this. Think of it like almost lead head squid.
Yeah.
Same kind of deal. I'm really fishing this the same way I'd fish like lead head squid.
Dead stick, freeze fold, define that for everybody out there.
Basically, you're going to go ahead and put your reel in and out of gear, and you're just letting it, basically, you're just letting the line completely slack, letting the lure do its thing on the bottom. Gives the lure as much play as it can possibly have without you touching it. And it looks a lot more natural to the fish compared to just you jerking it, doing its thing, going really, really fast. It's a lot more slower, a lot more lethargic kind of look to it. Helps out a lot.
Thank you, by the way, for burping and proving that Kevin actually did feed us a moment ago. People thought I was lying about that great meal.
It was good katsu. It was good
katsu. I'm telling you, man. Very good. All right, what's our next lure here?
PK5. I know
the pickle kick is really popular right now, huh?
Oh, big time, big time. I definitely like fishing these. Fishing either daytime or nighttime. Usually I'll stick to the standard white, but there are those days in the nighttime where they just want that silhouette. They don't want no color. If it's all black, they'll bite it. They just want a silhouette in the water. Most of the times I get a lot more better luck on the black. It has this is called cottonmouth. It's basically black with a little bit of blue stripes and a nice yellow chartreuse on the top. Looks really, really good for just a silhouette in the water column. If you're gonna go and target the sand bass that just wants that bait that looks in the water, they don't want them more flash, they don't want nothing crazy. You want it to look nice and natural to them. That's a good option.
All right, perfect. And as you look at all these baits, and I know there's a few more we're going to talk about, but your go-to for sand bass is going to be what?
You know what? I'm probably going to lean into that 5-inch to like 7-inch blunt nose style to a fluke. It's very like tied hand in hand.
Empate, tie,
for sure. It's like a good tie between that. Because there's days where they want that tail, but there's days where they want that nice, just standard fork tail. They want the paddle tail some days, but then some days they just want the standard fork tail too.
Yes.
Fish this the same way you fish a lead head squid. Fish it with like a 1 ounce neck breaker. You guys can go and fish it with like maybe like an ounce and a half. Get some too. This fish as well. I know it's a sea bass. Lead head, but that also works good for bass. So if you're gonna go fish for bass for that too, that works well.
All right, that looks just like it would get annihilated, man. It looks so cool.
Big time. I still have some of my bigger bass on that. Actually, my biggest sand bass is on a fluke.
Oh, it is. Yeah. How big is that fish?
We didn't weigh. It's about between 8 and 7 pounds.
That's a nice fish.
Yeah, it was nice. And that was on the Long Beach breakaway.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Did you know immediately when you hooked it?
Oh yeah, big time. Well, it started dumping. Yep. My rod was just absolutely folded, and then I was like, holy smokes, like, dude, I need the net. I'm not bouncing this thing, Like I don't care if I had 60-pound, 100-pound, give me the net. Like I need it, And this thing came up, and my line was string cheesed all the way up.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Ouch!
I was super scared, but it was cool. It was super cool.
No kidding. You talked on our calico bass video about 120 fish nights.
Yeah.
Do you get that kind of bite on the sand bass ever?
For the sand bass, I think the best day I've had was about like 50 to 60.
Well, that's pretty darn good. Yeah,
it's about halfway there.
Yeah,
but over there at the brick wall, I can put in more time.
Yes.
It's closer to home.
Right.
So if I want to stay that extra hour and a half, 2 hours, I can stay because I'll still make it home on time.
Yes.
But fishing izers, maybe not.
Right. A little bit of a run.
Exactly.
Yeah. Any other reefs that come to mind that are good fishing, or just some of the local spots are good? Like, the Horseshoe Kelp.
Yeah, Horseshoe. You can't go wrong with Horseshoe.
Yeah.
If you guys can try Gamblers, sometimes there's some good fish at Gamblers too. At Gamblers Wreck.
These are all little wrecks out in front of the LA light.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. That's a good one.
Any wreck, pretty much, right?
Pretty much
like up there in the Santa Monica Bay or Marina del Rey.
Big time. If you guys find a nice isolated rock in about like 70 to 80 feet in water too,
boom,
give it a knock.
Yeah.
Don't ever pass it up.
Yes.
If it's unmarked on your map, hey, it's a nice rock. There's some good marks here. Yeah, try it out. See if there's any bass on it.
Do you use Navionics?
Navionics, Garmin.
That helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, it helps
go out and check out whatever.
Yeah.
And
Big time.
Do you recommend people do that? Just, hey, let's check this out.
There are those times where if you're fishing over there, yeah, but like if I'm fishing like maybe if I'm fishing the wall or like in the inner harbor for sand bass too, then I'm gonna just cast in the blind half the time, But if I'm fishing, go ahead and fish like you were saying, izers, maybe fishing Gamblers, Horseshoe Kelp, that kind of deal. I'm gonna have a Garmin. I'm gonna have the Navionics either or,
Yeah, right on. Is there any? Oh yeah, there are some more baits here that you're using for this stuff, huh?
Unfortunately, not these ones. Not these guys.
How about this stuff? Any more stuff here?
These guys too, yeah. For the more darker silhouette kind of style that I was talking about. I like to use these, like I was saying, on the back of a swim jig.
And what are these now?
The Miki Knockouts.
Uh-huh.
Those work pretty good if you're looking for something that wants more of a flapping kind of presentation. It's a different kind of style. These will also work as a flapping presentation too, but I really like to go ahead and trim these down, make it look more of like a squid. This helps out a lot.
So talk to me about that, trimming those down. How would you do that exactly?
Well, I would go ahead and grab a razor blade or get my scissors.
Yeah.
And then go and just cut. It has some indents
I see that.
So you can go and just cut and follow that along all the way here. It will affect the bait as of longevity wise.
Yeah.
But you will still have good enough bites on it, no issue.
You'll feel like you get more bites, right, by doing that.
At least if I'm trying to make a certain type of a presentation.
Yeah.
Then yeah, big time.
So you were a line cook at one time.
Yeah, I was for sure.
So what's your favorite way to eat calico bass and sand bass?
Oh, you know what?
Give us a couple. Give us a sand bass. Since this is the sand bass video, go ahead.
For sand bass, you know what? I just like it just plain. Give it a nice little grill with some butter, a little bit of salt and pepper. I like to taste the fish.
Yeah.
I like to taste the fish.
Yes.
But when it comes to like maybe like a rockfish or something like that, I'll throw some extra seasoning down on it. But most of the time, I like to taste the fish. I don't really do too many beer batters. I mainly just grill it.
Do you grill it for your fish tacos also?
Yeah, I grill it for my fish tacos.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah, it's a lot better. It's a lot healthier for you too.
Yeah.
So I like to do that. I like to keep anywhere from like 14 to 16. Once it gets to like 18 for me, it starts to taste just a little bit rough.
Yeah.
I like just those barely legals. Those are the really good ones for me, any kind of fish. Like there's times when I was working and then there's a customer that had a bunch of small sculpin and then we had a bunch of big sculpin in the crate. And then we're trading them out for him in a day. And he's like, "You guys don't want these small? You guys don't want these small?" I was like, "Oh no, I want them. Like, those are the good ones. You know, like those small ones are the good ones.
Yeah.
You know, like those are the ones that taste super, super good. Like I will tell anybody this any day. I'll take a sculpin over a nice hunk of toro any day of the week.
Yeah.
Like any day. Bluefin toro versus sculpin. Give me the sculpin.
Yeah, really.
All day.
Yeah.
All day. It's great ceviche. You can eat it sashimi. You can eat it. You can eat it in poke. Like it's really good. Anywhere.
Really versatile.
Very versatile.
Yeah.
Probably like the most versatile. And people look at it as trash fish. I'm like, dude, that's the best tasting fish.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really good.
Best. And you can get those at Izers too.
Oh heck yeah.
If you guys get some nice scorpions or some nice spines, we like to call them at the boat. They call them spinacas.
Rattlesnakes. Yeah.
Rattlesnakes. Those are good. Those are really good. Don't be afraid of them. Go and just handle them. Make sure they're 10 inches. Keep them. They're really good eating.
Yeah, they are. So we've talked about sand bass. We've covered all this. What else do you catch on these same lures fishing Isers Reef or other rocks? Are you going to catch other species?
Yeah, you're definitely going to catch those. Like I was mentioning, those sculpin.
Yeah.
There is a chance if you find a more sandy bottom, there's a chance of halibut.
Right.
There's always that chance of halibut. And here and there, if there's that sea bass, that lonely sea bass just wandering down, you got a good fluke, maybe a nice white or not good bait fish color, you can have a good option too.
Perfect. I've learned a lot, Nick. Great job. Don't you dare say turd roller again. For the rest of your life, these are great fish, sand bass, aren't they?
Beautiful fish. Beautiful fish. Hands down for me, if I want to get bit and I want to have a good time and I want to go for something that's going to fight really hard, I'd rather go with sand bass fishing, if I'm going to be honest. So I'm going to catch sand bass and calico at the break wall, but I know I get a sand bass if that thing just keeps on digging down.
Right on. Make sure you come down here and visit Nick and say hello to him at Young's Fishing Tackle in Bellflower, California. Nick, always a pleasure, my friend.
Thank you so much, sir.
Have a great one.
All right.
Take care, everybody.